Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I have the next in the series of my perfect park day, which, as you'll have seen from the title, is the Magic Kingdom. I've been really excited to do this one. The Magic Kingdom is a park I cannot wait to get back to. It's the first one I'm definitely going to go back to, and today we're going to just walk through what would be my perfect day. And I'm very excited to do that. I wish I could do it for real, but here we are. We're going to virtually do that instead. And as always, I have a suitable pair of ears on. These are absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you can see how glittery they are. And these are from Once Upon a Craft, and I will link them in the description. They were very kindly gifted to me. I absolutely love these. So let's get into it and talk about my perfect day at the Magic Kingdom. So we're gonna go with Pop Century as the resort I'm staying at, because we've done that so far for all of them. So let's just say I'm staying there. First of all, we need to get to the Magic Kingdom. And the way I would do that, because of the resort I'm staying in, is by bus. Now, occasionally you will have seen from my vlogs before, if I do get to the buses at very peak time in the morning and there's a huge line, I very occasionally will take an Uber to the Contemporary Resort instead and walk across. It's not ideal to do that. The Magic Kingdom is one of the parks where you can't get an Uber right up to the gate, because you do have to obviously go to the Ticket and Transportation Centre first and then get a monorail or a ferry. So if you are going to get an Uber, you would need to go to either the Contemporary or the Grand Floridian. You could do now, because there is also a walkway from that hotel. It will take you a little extra time, obviously, just to walk across, but that is also an option. But let's just assume, since it's the perfect day, we've walked out in the morning to the buses and they're not too crazy. So we're going to get on our bus and arrive at the Magic Kingdom. And there's just nothing like arriving at the Magic Kingdom. If you've been before, I'm sure you'll agree it's one of the, well, it's the best park just to walk into in the morning and take it all in, hear the sounds and like the smells on Main Street. It's just incredible. And this is one of the parks where I would get my coffee first, because I do like to do that in the Magic Kingdom and then just kind of sit there and take everything in. So my first stop, once I've kind of walked up Main Street, taken a few photos and done my vlogging, would be Main Street Bakery, which is the Starbucks location, and I would get my coffee, take it around the corner to the table and chairs in front of the Plaza restaurant and just sit there and have that. That's one of my favourite things to do first thing in the morning when I arrive. And I do just sit there for a bit and watch everyone kind of rushing off to the attractions, whereas I'm just there taking it easy. That's just how I do things at the Magic Kingdom. And the first attraction I'm going to do on this particular day is the TTA. And because it's the perfect day, we're assuming it's open. It's actually been closed for a really long time, since the parks closed back in March last year at the beginning of the pandemic. It still hasn't reopened just yet, but we're assuming it has. It's one of my favourite things to do when I first get to the Magic Kingdom. It's very relaxing. It's quite a long ride, so you can just sit there and take it easy. It is great as well later in the day when you're either really hot or your legs are aching or something and you just want to take a rest. And often, if it's not busy, you can ask if you can stay on and just go around and around, which I frequently do because I just love doing that. But I would do that first on this particular day. I think that would be a perfect start. So usually I do that and then head away from Tomorrowland for now. There are other things I would like to do there, but usually I just do the TTA and then head over to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which is what I would do next. Now, with the other parks, because this is a perfect day, I have assumed that we still have Fast Pass. So we're going to do that again here. It's not something that is current in the parks again during the pandemic, but we're going to assume that Fast Pass is back. And Seven Dwarfs Mine Train would probably be the Fast Pass that I would book first. So we're going to assume it's my Fast Pass time, and I've gone to do that. It's a really great ride. It's very smooth. So for people who don't love roller coasters, or they're a bit scared, or for younger children who are a bit unsure, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is really fun. It doesn't throw you around too much, but it's still really fun. So I would definitely go and do that first. And again, there are other things I would like to do around that area, but I'm going to come back to those a bit later on, because there's a couple of things that I would prioritise first. So from there, I would walk through the rest of Fantasyland over to my beloved Haunted Mansion. I absolutely love the Haunted Mansion. It's my favourite attraction in all of Walt Disney World. I remember it so well from my very first trip to Disney in 2002, and I just absolutely love it. So I would go and do that, most likely in the standby line. It shouldn't be too bad, fairly early in the morning, so I would definitely do that. Take in the queuing area. If you have a fast pass for the ride, you do bypass the main queuing area, and it's actually really cool. There's really good stuff to look at. So if you can, it is good to experience that attraction walking through the standby line. So once we've done that, I think I would need to eat something because I've only had my coffee so far. And if we're coming out of the Haunted Mansion, we're right in the area for Sleepy Hollow. And that can only mean one thing, which is the Nutella Waffle. They do a waffle it's kind of like a waffle sandwich thing, and it has fruit and Nutella, and it's so good. It's pretty big actually. You probably could split it with someone if you don't usually eat a big breakfast, but it's really, really, really good. So I definitely get one of those for my breakfast and just have that. Again, do a bit of people watching. It's a nice area there in Liberty Square just to see everyone passing by. So once I've had that, next up would be one of my other favourite attractions. I would kind of walk on through Frontierland and cut through to Adventureland, and we'll be heading to Pirates of the Caribbean, which is another of my favourite rides. It's one of those definite I am at Disney kind of rides. Just when I'm riding that attraction, it's just so nostalgic for me. I absolutely love it. So definitely I would ride Pirates, again in the standby line most likely. And by the time we're done riding Pirates, we're going to assume that it's time for my next fast pass, which would definitely be Big Thunder Mountain. It is such a fun attraction. It's a little more of a thrill ride, I would say, than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, so maybe you could try that first and then build up to Big Thunder Mountain. But it really is awesome. I do always ask the cast member if I can ride in the very back or as far towards the back as possible, because I do find it is a better experience if you are sitting towards the back. But I absolutely love, love, love Big Thunder Mountain, so that would have to be done. And I do always try and get a fast pass, because that attraction, particularly if it's very, very hot weather, if you're traveling in the summer or if it's the middle of the day, obviously in Florida it does get very, very hot, and the queuing area is mostly outside. It is covered for some of it, but it does get very, very hot. So I do try and avoid standing in the standby line for that attraction if I possibly can. Obviously at the moment I would have to, because there's no fast pass, but that's our second fast pass that we've used. And from there I would definitely do a bit of store browsing. First up, I would go into the Briar Patch, which is a really cute store which is right by Splash Mountain. The theming in there is great. There is actually a little area where you can sit down, and they do sell drinks in there, so if you find yourself in that area and it's very, very hot, that is also a good place to just grab a quick drink. But I would take a look in there, take a look at the merchandise, and then head back through Frontierland over to the pin store. I love going in the pin store. As you guys may know, I do collect Disney pins, so I always have to stop in there. They also have magic bands and some other things as well. So now we're going to head back into Fantasyland, because there's definitely some things I would like to ride there. One being Small World, and I know some people find this attraction very annoying. Some people don't like doing it, but it is so iconic. I feel like if you're a true Disney fan, you just have to do it. You have to. Not necessarily every trip to the Magic Kingdom, but I do love it. It's a very, very cute ride. The music does get stuck in your head, I will warn you, so just be careful of that. And if it gets really stuck in there, it's super annoying, so just maybe be prepared to listen to some other music afterwards to try and get rid of it if you can't get rid of the song just playing around and around. But yeah, definitely I would have to do that attraction. And from there I would head over to the slightly newer section of Fantasyland where Be Our Guest is located, and carry on past Be Our Guest to the Little Mermaid attraction. And the Little Mermaid is my favourite Disney movie. It is very, very closely followed by Aladdin. I almost can't choose between the two, but Little Mermaid, if I had to say it at a push, is my favourite Disney movie, so I love doing that attraction. It's a family attraction, everyone can ride. If you do have members of your party who don't like thrill rides, they will be fine on this one. You're just very slowly riding through on a clamshell. It's very cute, and I always enjoy doing that attraction, so I would do that. And from there we're going to assume it's time for the third fast pass of the day, which is Peter Pan's Flight. When I'm booking fast passes, I always try and book them quite close together and more towards the beginning of the day, because once you've used your 3, you can then book more if they are available through the My Disney Experience app. Like I said, fast pass is not a thing at the moment, but we are assuming that it's going to come back, so that's what we're going to do. And Peter Pan's Flight does tend to get very long lines. This attraction, even though it's not a thrill ride, it always consistently does have a long wait. There's odd times where you can kind of get away with getting in the standby line and not waiting too long, and I will say the standby line is great for this attraction. It's got some interactive elements and it's just very, very well done, so I certainly would try and go through the standby line at least once to experience that, but for the most part, if I do this attraction, it is using a fast pass, so I don't have to wait too long. And again, it's just a very classic attraction. It's not very long, which is why I don't like to wait too long for it, because then you kind of blink and it's over. But I do like to try and ride it if I'm there, because it's very cute, and again has been there a really long time, and I just love that movie, so definitely we would ride that. And now we're going to assume that it's lunchtime. So for lunch today, we are going to be heading over to the Plaza restaurant, which is one of my favorites, and I feel like it's a bit underrated. Not a lot of people tend to talk about it or go there very often. I absolutely love it. Normally I do go there for breakfast. They have amazing breakfast there, but on this particular day I wanted to get the Nutella Waffle, so we're going to go there for lunch instead. And it is obviously attached to the Plaza ice cream location, so they do great desserts there. They also do like sandwiches, burgers and fries, but really, really good food there. I've always had good food there anyway, so I would definitely head over to the Plaza restaurant. And the thing that's also great, if you can sit in the conservatory area, then you can see out onto the hub and the castle. You actually get a view of the castle while you're eating, which is really, really nice. So I would definitely head there for my lunch. And while I'm in the vicinity, once I'm done with eating, I think it would be time to head on to Main Street and start doing some merchandise browsing, some real merchandise browsing. Then we're in the area where you've got all of the main stores. You've got the Main Street Emporium, then on the other side you have the Pandora store and all of the kind of fashion items and stuff like that. Main Street Confectionery is there as well, so you can have a really, really good browse around there. And the reason I tend to do that during the day and not at the end of the day, if you're in the park till closing, that tends to be when everyone is heading towards the exit, but also when they're going into the Main Street Emporium and the other stores. So they can get extremely busy at that time of day. It can be quite difficult to navigate your way around, and if it's very crowded, certainly at the moment as well, that might feel uncomfortable. So I tend to do that during the day, so then when it gets to the end of the day, I can kind of bypass all of the crowds who are doing their shopping. So we definitely have a good look around there, which would take quite some time if it's me. I do like to have a good browse, but once we're done with that, it would be time to ride some more attractions. And I think at that point I would probably check the My Disney Experience app to see if I could pick up another fast pass for something that I haven't already done. So maybe we would be able to get something there. But I think I go through to Tomorrowland and ride Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. And I'm not very good at this ride, I'll be honest. I love Toy Story Mania. It's a similar concept where you are obviously shooting at things. I do a lot better on Toy Story Mania than I do on Buzz Lightyear. I can't ever see what I'm doing. I can't see what I'm shooting at, so I'm just not very good at it. I know some people tend to have little tips and tricks on how to do good at that ride. I'm not in the loop on that one, so yeah, I don't know. But I would ride that ride anyway. It's still good fun. And from there, I probably would take another spin on the TTA, if I'm totally honest. I think I'd be unable to resist if I'm right there next to it, so I'd probably do the TTA again. And if I was with someone who likes doing Space Mountain, it might be that they either would have got a fast pass for that instead of one of the others that I've already done, or they might want to get in the standby line. I'm not a huge fan of Space Mountain. I find the one at Disney World really does kind of shake you around a little bit. That's not to put anyone off, but it's rough compared to something like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, so I don't tend to ride that. But if I'm with someone who wanted to, then that would be a good moment to do that. And probably from there, the next thing I would do is Mad Tea Party. Again, it's a very, very iconic ride for Disney, not just at Disney World, but in the other parks, is riding in the teacups, spinning yourself around until you get dizzy. Always good fun, so I probably would stop off and do that. And I'm going to assume that the fast pass I picked up was for the Winnie the Pooh attraction. There are some attractions that you really don't see fast passes for on the day, but I have seen them before for that, so we'll assume we got one. We're going to ride the Winnie the Pooh attraction, which is very, very cute. I can't deny that I wish it was still Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. If you know me, you know that Mr. Toad is my absolute favourite Disney character, so I do wish it was still that attraction. But the Winnie the Pooh attraction is cute too, so we would do that. And then I would make my way over to Adventureland again, because we didn't spend a lot of time over there. And I'm just hoping that by this point I would be able to force down a snack, because if we're in Adventureland, we have to get some kind of Dole Whip float. Whether or not it would be a classic pineapple float, or maybe the I Lava You float, if that's still there, which is over at Sunshine Tree Terrace, or Aloha Isle is where you get your pineapple float, but I feel like it would be time to do that. If I'm traveling with somebody, then you can actually split it. It really really is quite big, so maybe I could do that, but it's got to be done on a perfect day in the Magic Kingdom, so I definitely pick up one of those. And while I'm having that, I would go into the Enchanted Tiki room. A lot of people have said they've never actually done it and they just walk past it every single time, but it's a really cute show. It's a great place to sit down and just take a break, get out of the heat. You did used to be able to take your Dole Whip into the Tiki room. Now I don't know if that's still the case. Everything could be a bit different at the moment with the pandemic, but you certainly could before, so that's always a good time to do that if you're still allowed to. So I definitely sit and take in that show, and from there I think I would do Jungle Cruise. Again, I may have been able to pick up a last minute fast pass, otherwise I would ride in the standby line. Again, the standby line can get quite long for that attraction, and although it's covered, it is outdoors, so it is quite good to try and pick up a fast pass if you can. It's very iconic, the jokes are super cheesy, but the cast members are great on that attraction, so it's always good to do that. I went a really long time without doing it because it's kind of tucked away. Sometimes I would just forget to go on Jungle Cruise, so today we are definitely going to do that. And from there I would actually head over to an attraction I haven't done for a really long time, which is the Hall of Presidents. So I don't do this necessarily on every trip to the Magic Kingdom or even every trip to Disney, to be honest, but I haven't done it for quite some time. Again, it's a great thing to do towards the end of the day if you're hot or tired or both. It's quite a long attraction, so it's a good place to have a sit down and get some air conditioning, and the animatronics are really impressive. And again, because I haven't done it for a while, there will have been new ones added, so I definitely would check that out. And while I'm right there, I would definitely head into the Christmas shop. There is a permanent Christmas shop in the Magic Kingdom in Liberty Square, and even if it's like a really weird time of year to be looking at Christmas stuff, I love going in there and just taking a look around. I love Disney Christmas ornaments and any kind of Disney Christmas anything, it's just perfect, so I would have a look around there. And from there, the last attraction I would want to make sure that I experience for the day is PhilharMagic. It's been there a long time now, but I absolutely love it. It features so many different Disney movies. Like I said earlier, Aladdin is one of my absolute favourite movies, and the scene they have with Aladdin and Jasmine and A Whole New World, I love it. It usually makes me tear up slightly, I've got to be honest. So I definitely would round out the day attraction wise with doing PhilharMagic because it's just great. So once I've done that, we're going to assume it's kind of quite late in the day and might be time for dinner, which I'm hoping I'll be able to eat because we have obviously, you know, eaten quite a bit, but we're at Disney, we're on vacation, no judgment, we're all friends here. So for dinner that day, and because this is the perfect day, I probably would go to Cinderella's Royal Table, which at the moment doesn't have any character interaction. Normally the princesses are there and will come around and visit at your table, but at the moment that doesn't happen. But to be honest, it's just the location for me. Getting to actually eat in a restaurant inside the castle is incredible, and it's so beautiful. It definitely would just be, yeah, the perfect end to a day in the Magic Kingdom for me. I've not done it in a long time. 2011 was the last time I ate there, so on my next trip, whether or not it's a character experience, I definitely will try and eat there, see what the food's like, see what the experience is like, and yeah, that would be my dinner location of choice for sure. And because this is the perfect day, we are going to assume that fireworks are happening. As we all know, Happily Ever After is not currently happening, but we're going to assume on our perfect day that it is happening. So I would head out of Cinderella's Royal Table and find myself a spot to watch the fireworks. And since they did the hub expansion, there's plenty of places to watch. Even if you kind of go to the side or even behind the castle, back where the carousel is, you then won't see the projections on the castle. So if that's important to you, then obviously you want to be facing it. But if it's not so important and you're more interested in the actual fireworks, I can recommend watching from behind the castle. There'll be hardly anybody around, but we do want to see the projections on this occasion, so I would find myself a spot and watch Happily Ever After. And when the fireworks have finished, there will definitely be a very big exit of people from the parks. That's usually people's kind of end of the day, and then everyone will be heading for the monorail and the boats and the buses, and it can all get a little bit crazy. So at that point in the day is when I will go back into Starbucks, get myself a beverage, and just do a bit of wandering around. Normally I wander around the hub, I get some photo pass pictures, I'll take some of my own photos of the Magic Kingdom at night, just generally wander around until the crowds have gone, and then I will make my way to the buses and head head back to my resort. And I always do that. I just don't like the crowds on the transport. I would rather hang around, get all those good photos, and by the time I'm done, usually there's not many people left in the park, or a lot less people, so you can get some really good photos without too many people around. And that would be my day in the Magic Kingdom. So let me know in the comments, what would your day in the Magic Kingdom involve? Not necessarily every single thing, but let me know, where would you eat breakfast or lunch or dinner, and what snacks would you have, and what attractions would you do? What would you have as your 3 first pass attractions? Let me know. I love talking Disney, love to hear what you guys like to do, so let me know in the comments. And as always, I just want to say a huge thank you to you all for watching these videos. I get so many messages about these perfect day videos and about how much you're enjoying them. I am going to do Universal as well once I'm done with the Disney parks, so keep an eye out for that. And do make sure you're subscribed. I know a lot of people do watch all of the videos, but they're still not subscribed. So if you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, that will tell you when I upload a video, so you don't ever miss anything then. You should always get, in theory, you should always get a notification when I upload. And again, I just want to say I hope you're all staying safe and well. I hope everyone's okay and hanging in there. It is looking more like there's an end in sight now to lockdowns and all the craziness that has been going on wherever you're located. I know people watch from all over the world and things are a little bit different everywhere, but I hope everyone is okay. I'm very, very excited to get back to Disney and create more vlogs as soon as I'm safely able to do that. So be assured, as soon as I safely can, I will be back at Disney creating more vlogs for you all. So I hope you're having a great day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.